And scene. Just kidding. Okay. All right. What are you doing?
Sorry. I'm walking.
Okay, yeah, let's walk in. That's it. Hi, Raylene. I'm Tara.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good. All right. So I want to introduce myself. So like I said, my name is Tara. I am a social work student at Lewis and Clark State College, and I'm going to be doing your assessment today. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I wanted to start off by saying I think it's very, very brave of you to come in today. It takes a lot of courage for somebody to come in and seek support, and so I want to commend you on that. All right. Have you ever had an assessment before?
I have.
You
yes.
have. Okay, so you're a little familiar with the process and what we're going to do today.
Yeah.
All right, so you know that today is going to be kind of like I ask you a lot of questions. We go over a little bit of paperwork, and trying to see this whole process will probably take about 15 to 20 minutes initially, and then if you still want to continue seeing me, we could talk about what that looks like later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. So, are you familiar with limits of confidentiality? Do you know what that means?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. All right. So, essentially, I'll just go over it again just so that you can make sure you understand it fully. Here's this paper that I don't have. So on that paper, it talks a little bit about who I am, our agency, and what kind of services we provide for you. And then right below it talks about confidentiality. So essentially, whatever we talk about in this room stays between you and I. There are some limitations to that, right? So if you are planning on hurting somebody else or yourself or cause harm to a child or a vulnerable person, we would have to report that and take the steps needed to address that. Okay. And then we also, gosh, what's the other one?
If you want to include consultation or gravely disabled.
Oh yeah. Or if I notice that you've become gravely disabled, that's a new one for me.
Yeah.
And you aren't able to take care or provide for yourself, then we would have to notify somebody to make sure that you are being taken care of. Okay. Do you have any questions about that?
I don't think so.
Okay. I got your referral from Student Services, and it's I read a little bit about it, but I want to know a little bit more about what brought you in today.
Okay. So my problem is I love to help people,
Okay.
and I just do too much. And then I was like, oh yeah, I have a family to take care of. And like, oh yeah, I have homework. So like really this weekend I'm making cake pops because I love to. Like that's kind of my therapy, and I love to help others, but at the same time I don't have time.
Okay.
So that's why I'm here today, is I need to learn to say no.
Okay, so you're here to learn to say no. You enjoy helping people. However, sometimes that could be overwhelming because you do have other things going on in life, your family, school.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, what are some of the things that maybe you can think of that you have taken on that you like? Damn, that's definitely not where I want to go with that. Hold on.
No, you're doing amazing. No.
I'm wondering, like, how that, like, tell me a little bit more about, like, what goes on for you, like, when you are taking on all of that. Like, walk me through a process. Like, let's say right now, for example, your cake pops, right? And is there an event that's happening or anything like that?
Yeah, there's always an event, and I always offer up my services. Like, oh, you're like all my kids' friends are having birthday parties. I'm like, oh, do you need help with something? That just comes out automatically for me. I just love to help, and it's like, can I take those words back? Like late at night, it's like, why did I say I would do that? Because I don't have time to do that. And even though I enjoy making cake pops, like it's therapy for me, that's not where my priority should be. So
I gotcha.
yeah, I enjoy it, but I can't do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sounds like it would be really stressful every time you have an event that you have to, like, you can't just enjoy it. You really wanna help, but also it's overwhelming for you to help, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm wondering, what are some of the things that you've done, like in the past? I mean, have you ever said no? Just curious.
I know it's hard to say no.
Like even right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like I just love that.
Okay. Well, girl.
Yeah. So as a student
Okay.
and going into the profession of social work, I need to learn boundaries, and so I want to learn now how to say no because I can foresee myself taking on way too much, and I want to do the best that I can with the few tasks that I have, such as being a parent, being a spouse, being a student. Like, I need to give that my all instead of like all these little things. So I want to learn now how to say no.
Okay. So I feel like I'm picking up what you're putting down. You love to do things for other people, but you can't do things for other people because you have too much on your plate.
Yeah.
And you need to say no.
No.
Gotcha. Tell me what it's like for you when you say the word no.
It just is hard.
It's hard. What about it is hard?
Yeah. I feel like there's always a way I could sneak it in. Like, well, maybe if I stay up later. Well, maybe if I don't work out, which is something that I like to do. So I definitely put all these other random people before myself.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's something I'd like to work on.
Okay.
With you.
Awesome. Well, I think that we could definitely work on this. I appreciate you again for like letting me know all the little details and what you're kind of thinking about how you want to spend our time going forward together. Yeah. So I don't know why I'm laughing. Please excuse why I'm laughing. I'm really nervous and my armpits are sweating. So this is the baseline. Anyway, so okay. Well, I think that, if you're willing to work with me on this, I think that we can like meet a couple more times or however many times you feel comfortable, and we can start figuring out ways to help you learn how to set boundaries, especially going forward. It's the beginning of the school year, for your kids, for you, and I think that we could definitely work on some stuff. How frequently are you wanting to check in?
So I'm kind of busy, but at least once a week.
You want to check in at least once a week. All right, awesome. So we can definitely get that going for you. So I just want to recap our time. We talked about what we're going to be able to do for you here. You've agreed to work with me about once a week. So later, so this is just the initial assessment, right? So later, we could probably expect our meetings to be at least an hour. No more than an hour. My bad. And we'll try to figure out ways for you to set some boundaries.
I need the help.
You need the help. Does that sound good?
Yes, thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in to see me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Sure, I'm supposed to start some.
Okay. Hello, my name's Ray.
Hi, I'm Jade.
Hi, Jade. Nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I am a social work student here at the Counseling Center. My name's Ray. I'm happy to have you here today. I will be doing your assessment. Have you ever had an assessment done before?
I don't know.
Okay. What about like counseling before?
A little, yeah.
A little bit. Okay. So I'll kind of just go over what we're going to do today. First of all, I do want to say you should be proud of yourself just for coming in the door today. I'd love to get more information from you and work with you, but we are going to go over a couple things. So the first is our policy, a little bit about what we do here, and confidentiality. Do you remember going over confidentiality before?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, okay.
Just like privacy.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
So what we talk about here, it will stay here with us except just a few things. So if you tell me that you are going to harm yourself, that is something I am obligated to report. Okay. And then if you say that you have harmed either somebody kind of a vulnerable population like a child or elderly person, I am obligated to report that. Okay. And if I see that I'm meeting with you and you're unable to take care of yourself, if you're not being safe, then I do have to report that. Okay. Does all of that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to help you, I want to work with you, but I just have to make sure that everybody's safe.
Of course.
And we're all being safe. Do you have any questions about confidentiality?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I did read a little bit over your intake paperwork. Can you kind of tell me in your own words why you came in today?
Well, I struggle with a lot of anxiety, and I was just kind of diagnosed with ADHD and adapting to it. And I'm a full-time student, and it's very hard to focus. And so I procrastinate, and then I finally go to do something, and I have major anxiety about it. And that's why I procrastinate in the first place. So it's really hard to get everything done and stay on track and stay caught up. Because there's just so much to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It sounds like that is a lot to have a new diagnosis and kind of new things going on in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. How do you feel about like the current? You said you were currently diagnosed kind of with.
Yeah. So over the summer I got an assessment done, and they said that I was like right on the line. Like I could be or could not, and I think the issue is it's harder to diagnose, and like as you get older, especially I've heard especially for women.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm right like on the line because I don't necessarily have like the hyperactive side. It's more like ADD.
Okay. How do you feel about being right on that line?
In a way, it's kind of frustrating because I feel like I've come to identify with this like term, and it's a good way to describe like how I feel about certain things and like how my focus shifts. But not like having the official diagnosis is just a little weird. Like I feel like I'm like not lying about it, but it feels like it's not recognized. Like it's not enough of a problem for other people to recognize, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm really happy that you came in. So you kind of mentioned like frustrated, kind of feeling weird, different kind of emotions. It sounds like you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, in school, that could be.
Yeah, school's a really big thing. I finally got my associates, and now I'm really hoping that I can get my bachelor's in just 2 more years because I feel like I've already took a lot of time. So it's 5 classes this semester.
Wow, that does sound like a lot, but congratulations on getting your associates. That's a big accomplishment. So it sounds like you're a hard worker. You find a way to push through.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I would love to continue to work with you if you're willing to come in with me. Today was kind of just a shorter session, kind of just to get to meet you a little bit, kind of explain what we do here. Would you be willing to come back in? Is this something?
Yeah, I think so.
Something you want to work on?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd love to have you back. Would you? You are very busy. How often would you like to come in and work on this?
I think like would every 2 weeks be like a good one?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, so it'd be nice to see you every 2 weeks, and then those sessions we'll be able to dig in a little bit deeper and have like a 50-minute session where we can just all talk about you, and I'll do less of the talking.
Okay.
Okay. It was nice to meet you, and thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Ready as we're gonna be.
Resumed.
Awesome. Hi, Tara. Thank you for coming in today. My name is Jade.
Hi, Jade.
It's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you for coming in today, taking time out of your day. I'm sure you're a very busy person.
Yeah.
So let me just tell you a bit about me. I am a social work student here at the Student Services Center. I'm here right now to kind of do a consultation and talk about what brings you in for counseling today.
Okay.
And then after that, we will talk a bit about how services will look moving forward.
Okay.
Before we start, I just want to go over a few things for you. Our agency policy paperwork, a little bit about me, and on that sheet it will also talk about confidentiality
Okay.
and the limits of confidentiality. Are you familiar with the term confidentiality?
I've heard it before, yeah.
Yeah, so basically it means that anything that you and I talk about in our sessions remains private. It remains between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
There are a few exceptions. These exceptions are because I am a mandatory reporter.
Okay.
That means that if you tell me that you are intending to harm yourself or someone else, then I need to make a report. Same if I notice that you have become gravely disabled, such as like you wouldn't be able to realistically take care of yourself. I would need to report that as well as if you mentioned harm coming to a child or a vulnerable person, such as an elderly person.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you have to report if I'm gonna hurt myself or somebody else or a kid or a vulnerable person.
Yes.
Or if I can't take care of myself.
Yes.
Pretty sure I'm not gonna do any of those things, so thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And it's just to keep you safe, because that's what we want. That's what we're here for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So before we start, do you have any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So will you please tell me just a little bit about you? I read your intake paperwork, but just a little bit about you and what brings you in today. Why did you decide to seek counseling?
Oh my gosh. Well, so I a couple years ago decided to return to school. But I decided to return to school after I had a baby. So I have a toddler and I also have a teenager, and my wife owns a business, and I take 12 credits, and I work full time, and there's like football, and everybody goes to school everywhere, and I like want to volunteer places, and I want to do all of the things because I feel like I need to stay like connected, because Idaho's a pretty wild place for somebody like me to live, and so I feel like totally unsupported in everything that I try to do. So I try to like kind of overcompensate by trying to connect with people, but I don't have the time to do that. And I've noticed lately that I've been really, really stressed out, so much so that like I noticed like things like I won't do anything. Like I'll get so stressed out that I will like crumble and just sort of like, I don't know, like not do anything but like do everything. So I'll do everything but the thing I'm supposed to do. Like I'm supposed to turn in this assignment, and instead I find all the things around the house. The laundry needs done, the child needs somebody to watch Frozen 2 with. Like, you know, I start doing all these things, and then I get frustrated with myself, and I kind of like take it out on other people like it's their fault, but it's really nobody's fault. It's my fault. And I'm just trying to figure out how to like balance that and like kind of like I guess figure out where my medium is, I guess, like where's the middle that I can like function appropriately, because I don't think this is sustainable, and I think I'm gonna go crazy.
Okay, sounds like you definitely have a lot on your plate.
Yeah. I'm stuffed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also sounds like you tend to freeze up a bit when things start to get overwhelming. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
So, have you heard of fight or flight?
I have.
Yeah, the fight or flight response. So they actually have a third one. It's called freeze. And a lot of people that experience anxiety will take that freeze response and kind of like they don't feel like they can do anything. Does that sound like it might be you a bit? Or?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like, so like, as an example, right? So, like, I had a paper due, and instead of doing the paper, I sat on my couch and did nothing, even though the paper was literally in the other room. But it also felt like every time I tried to get up to do the paper, one of my kids needed something, or I had an appointment, or I had something to do, and so it just didn't feel like the right time. And then it built up so much, like, I guess, like, stress in me and like worry in me that I ended up just not doing it at all. Even though it drove me crazy knowing that I needed to get it done, I just still didn't do it. And then I got upset about it. And then when my wife came home, then I basically blamed her as the reason why, because she works late sometimes, why I couldn't get anything done. When really it wasn't her fault either. Like, we all signed up for this. So I just want to figure out how to, one, like, I guess, better manage my emotions, two, like, figure out how to balance this out so I don't end up in this spot where I'm, like, I don't know, maybe time management or something. I don't really know. I don't know. I feel like it could go all over the place, but I'm struggling. I need help.
Okay. So it sounds like a big part of this is like it's a stress and emotional toll kind of on you. Like the stress is starting to become more and more emotional.
Yeah.
The more the more stress you get. So I think that is something that we can definitely work on. Maybe time management, maybe ways to plan out your homework, like taking smaller steps. And we can also talk about just those stressors and the emotional side of things that might make you, as you might say, lash out. So do you think that that's something that you could realistically work on with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you feel like you'd have time to meet weekly or every other week?
I feel like I need to meet weekly just because I feel like I need, like, a lot of help up front. But thinking about realistically and, like, time, as far as time goes for me, I'm so busy. Would it be possible to meet weekly at first and then kind of teeter off into, like, every other week?
Definitely.
Okay.
That is definitely something we can do. And that's not an uncommon thing in counseling. So we'll start out weekly. Our meetings will be about 45 minutes each time.
Okay.
And we'll delve a little deeper into what's been going on.
Okay.
And every once in a while I might give you, like, homework, which would just be something to work on at home in terms of, like, how you're feeling or your stress.
All right, that sounds very helpful, actually. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for coming in to see me today, Tara. You have a great day.
Thanks, you too. Bye.